What's up, everybody? In today's video, I wanted to talk about a blog post that PlayStation made about Armored Core 6, and it's really interesting because they talk about the evolution of Armored Core, and it gives a lot of information and context on just how far the series has come. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And it reads, From Software's Mech Combat series has transformed more than you'd think since its debut on the original PlayStation. When one thinks of From Software, their mind likely jumps to its many action role-playing Souls and Souls-like titles. While those games are a massive part of the studio's legacy, the cult favorite Armored Core series is equally crucial to its long-term success. By committing to consistent, almost yearly entries from 1997 to 2013, From Software found its footing in the gaming world and learn many valuable lessons from the series that appear in its work today. The suite of customization options, the focus on world building, and the commitment to cater to a dedicated core audience. Armored Core is a sci-fi action game series that blends high-speed mech combat with intricate simulation elements where you assemble a mech of your dreams using numerous weapons and parts. Like From Software's Souls-like titles, each Armored Core game is often set in its own distinct dystopian or post-apocalyptic universe, sometimes referencing past franchise themes, plot points, and characters. However, within each numbered entry is a narrative you can only enjoy across multiple games and expansions. With the upcoming release of Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, the long-running series returned to a sizable new audience with a fresh adventure after a 10-year absence. For those only familiar with From Software's Souls-like games, this Armored Core game will be their first, but it's only the latest entry in a series with a long, rich history. Join us as we explore Armored Core's humble beginnings and how each entry evolved in its iconic mech action. From Software hit the ground running with the first Armored Core on the original PlayStation, masterfully captivating players with the basic formula of the series. It fulfilled the fantasy of constructing a giant mech from the ground up with a bevy of customization options, including a wide range of weaponry, body parts, and boosters. You could custom tailor your Armored Core, AC for short, to tackle the game's many campaign missions with a variety of suitable playstyles. In its day, playing the first Armored Core made you feel like a pilot learning the ropes of controlling a giant mech, though with a lack of dual analog support and a complex control scheme, learning to handle your AC and leverage its arsenal took commitment and patience. Due to the game's movement and camera controls requiring complex combinations of face and shoulder buttons, hands could end up twisted like a pretzel after a play session. A shared struggle among early Armored Core players that From Software would rectify in later releases. In later standalone expansions, Armored Core, Project Phantasma, and Master of Arena, From Software introduced more series staples. Project Phantasma debuted Arena Mode, which Master of Arena significantly expanded upon. In Arena Mode, players face off against formidable AI-controlled AC pilots, emulating a robot gladiator-like experience. It also introduced longer, more complex campaign missions. These expansions allowed you to import save files from previous entries, including your AC and specific weapons or items. The Armored Core series followed Sony into the PlayStation 2 era with Armored Core 2 and its sequel, Armored Core 2: Another Age, both of which kept the basic formula of the series intact with all its customization intricacies. Armored Core 2 stuck closely to what made the early titles work, but Another Age would see somewhat of a shakeup. The sequel featured over 100 playable missions, but no returning to Arena Mode. It also saw the debut of a new local co-op mission mode. However, arguably the most significant changes came from online multiplayer support. Player versus player PvP existed minimally in previous games with a split-screen versus mode, but online multiplayer brought new promise to the competitive Armored Core scene, ensuring growth for decades to come. Unfortunately, this online mode was only available in Japan due to the PlayStation Network adapter only releasing in that region at the time of Another Age's release. Armored Core 3 introduced minor changes to the series formula. It brought back Arena mode, created a local 4-player multiplayer battle mode, and returned to a post-apocalyptic setting akin to the original 1997 release of Armored Core. However, the next 4 releases, Silent Line, Nexus, Ninebreaker, and Last Raven, offered more meaningful changes. Silent Line allowed you to bring along AI-controlled companions on missions and even train and test your skills against a CPU-piloted counterpart of your AC. Nexus added LAN multiplayer capabilities and dual analog controller support. Ninebreaker gave you access to an in-depth training mode. Last Raven combined all of these changes in a final expansion that concluded the Armored Core 3 storyline and was the first to feature multiple endings depending on your actions throughout the campaign. Armored Core 4 was the advent of a new age for the Armored Core series and was notably directed by From Software icon Hidetaka Miyazaki. While retaining the series' signature mech customization, the game amplified combat speed with augmented boosting mechanics and mobility options, and achieved new heights of graphical fidelity thanks to the power of the PlayStation 3. It also improved accessibility by making the default control layout more ergonomic friendly, allowing you to freely customize button inputs and adding other options like auto-aim. Networking capabilities finally allowed you to compete against opponents worldwide, supporting battles for up to 8 players. The sequel, Armored Core 4 Answer, introduced the Armsport, a huge weapon far larger than the size of one's own AC, and Assault Armor, a type of barrier called Primal Armor, was converted into an offensive weapon. Thanks to these changes and additions, 4 Answer has become a fan favorite entry. The most recent entries in the series, Armored Core 5 and its sequel, Verdict Day, saw From Software focus even more on online multiplayer, offering a slew of competitive PvP and PvE modes. The game notably decreased combat speed from Armored Core 4 to accommodate their return to a post-apocalyptic scavenger setting, placing more importance on placement and tactical play. Armored Core 5 also saw the introduction of ultimate weapons, heavy-hitting back-mount weaponry that can only be used once per mission. You could also switch on the fly between combat mode and a new scan mode, which identified surrounding threats while conserving energy. Armored Core has experienced many evolutions since its beginning, and From Software has taken the most critical lessons from each entry to innovate the franchise and retain the features and mechanics that players love most. So what do you guys think about this history lesson? It looks like Armored Core has really come a long way, and we are finally about to get our hands on this franchise again. For one, I am super excited. I've never played any of the games before, but it looks like this is going to be right up my alley. So please let me know what you think about this in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.